Hi, Alan Schimmel, DevOps.com here at the DevOps Enterprise Summit London 2016, joined by Kevin Bowman of Sky Masters?
Sky Betting and Gaming.
Sky Betting. Sky Masters is from a book I read. and Kevin, Sky Betting and Gaming is one of the largest gaming betting companies here in the UK, correct?
It is. It's one of the largest online UK betting and gaming companies. So I guess we're slightly unique in that we don't have a physical presence. We don't have betting shops. We entirely operate through our website and through
virtual.
Online. Yeah.
You know, that is the way of the world today, right?
It is, and I guess it gives us an opportunity to kind of innovate a bit better because we don't need to match things across physical and website. So we're entirely focused on our online presence.
Excellent. And Kevin, you presented today on your company's experience with Grand National.
That's right.
And remember, our audience is worldwide.
Yeah.
Not everyone may know what Grand National is. Why don't you tell it?
Yeah, so Grand National is quite unique in the UK. So it's the largest horse race in the UK, in fact in Europe, by prize money. And it's also unique in that it has up to 40 horses in it. Normally horse races are 10 to 15 horses. Right. It's quite long. It has a lot of jumps in it. Also, crucially, it's incredibly hard to predict the winner because there's so many horses. It's so long. So I think in the last 70 years, maybe only 9 times has the bookies' favourite actually won the horse race.
Really?
So it creates a lot of excitement. It also creates a lot of bets, which is great. But once a year, we need to cope with this traffic.
So, I mean, the good news is you know when it's coming.
We do. But the bad news is we can't move it. We have to be ready for that day.
Right. And it happens. So give our audience a little kind of, not a preview, but a synopsis. What does it take to prepare for something? Actually, before we do that, Kevin, give us an idea of the scope. How many transactions, however metric you want to give us.
Yeah, so I guess the main metric for us, we don't really measure website requests because a page view is a page view. What's important to us is actual transactions. So if you compare us to an e-commerce site, our equivalent of kind of filling a shopping basket is like creating a bet slip. Mm-hmm. And then instead of checking out a shopping basket, we place the bet. So our metric is bets placed. On a Grand National this year, our bets placed peaked up to about 12,000 bets per minute, which is probably the highest we've ever seen.
12,000 per minute?
12,000 per minute. And to put that into kind of comparison, a couple of Black Fridays ago, Amazon UK put out a message that I think their peak on that Black Friday was about 4,000 to 5,000 transactions.
So it's 2 to 3 times a Black Friday load.
It is, and it's a different kind of transaction, so it's probably slightly easier for us. But to put it into comparison,
but it's still a transaction. There's something happening there. Yeah. And so what does it take to prepare for this kind of onslaught?
Well, crucially, it takes a team of brilliant people. That you can't
start with people.
You can't avoid having people who know what they're doing, know their technologies, know the customer, know the kind of, the predicted demand for the site. Although we can't entirely predict that, but people has got to be the crucial thing. But in terms of actual work towards prepping for Grand National, I guess it starts shortly after Christmas. So Boxing Day is quite a big day for us as well. So we've got a whole kind of ramp up to Boxing Day. But then after that, our next big focus is probably Grand National. Uh-huh. So after Christmas, we go through a whole cycle of load testing, of very targeted, focused load testing on specific components in our technology stack by, again, using our people. So people probably know where the weaknesses are in our stack. So we can expose those weaknesses by load testing a very focused area, figure out exactly what the problems are, get a plan to fix it, load test, rinse and repeat, that whole cycle. So we probably load test once or twice a week during that kind of quarter of the year lead up to the Grand National.
This kind of burstable or elastic infrastructure, I'm assuming you're not doing it in your own data center.
Well, you're wrong. We do.
Really?
We operate almost entirely out of private data centers. In fact, mostly for this kind of traffic out of one particular data center, with a failover, obviously. We've historically, although our traffic probably matches public cloud use cases very well, we've historically struggled a bit with the way regulators view that. So being online betting, taking credit cards, having customer data, we're regulated
There's a lot of red flags.
Lots of different places. And in particular, the various different kind of gaming commission regulators have always liked to be able to actually see our physical servers or I guess crucially, if we break the rules, they like to impound them.
Let's hope not.
Well, not so far, which is great.
Right.
But they've always shied away from public clouds. I think that's changing now, but it's changing slower than other industries, and it's taking a lot of effort from people involved in the industry, working with the regulator to say, no, actually, public clouds are great now. We can easily do very compliant, very regulated stuff in public clouds. It's just a mental model shift as to how you think about how these things are working. So we need to do a lot of work with the regulator, and at that point we'll be able to do a lot more in public clouds. But for the moment, we do it entirely in private data center.
Excellent. That wouldn't have thought that, but it actually makes sense now that you've explained it.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting thing. So, Kevin, let me pivot a little bit to talk about a little bit about DevOps Enterprise Summit. What compelled you to present here today, this year?
Yeah. So I'm not a very accomplished speaker. I don't speak a lot, but as a company, we're growing very fast. And about a year ago, just over a year ago, we were sold. So we're now owned majority by a venture capital company, and along with that, we're really trying to grow and encourage the best kind of technology talent in the area to come and work with us. So really, in certain circles, we much more want to be known as a technology company with really interesting technical challenges, which we overcome in agile ways. We embrace the potential of our people. We like the whole DevOps movement. So we really want to be known in technical circles as having really interesting technical challenges, more than purely being a kind of online bookmaker, which is how our customers tend to view us. So this is part of our attempt to get out into communities, to talk a lot more about how our technology works and what we do, and to say, hey, we have some great challenges. We have some interesting stuff to do.
Absolutely.
Everyone can be part of that.
So you're the first speaker who said, "Hey, this is a great recruiting platform."
It's blunt and honest.
Yeah, well, no, there's nothing about it with blatant honesty, but it also actually makes sense as well.
Yeah.
Beyond, and it really goes hand in hand with something else, which is this is a great place to meet people.
It is. It's a fantastic event, and it's very kind of enterprise focused, obviously, given the name. But it's great to hear people who've had the experience of having problems and how they've overcome them. There's a lot of kind of common threads through all the stories, but I think the overall message from everyone is that it doesn't matter what tooling you've got, it doesn't matter what your processes are, it's the people who matter. And it's a really good kind of reminder that you can't forget that people are the most important part of this.
Absolutely not. Well, Kevin, thank you for talking with our audience today, and thank you for presenting at DevOps Enterprise Summit.
It's a pleasure.
When's the Grand National?
The Grand National this year was on the 9th of April. It's usually about a week into April.
So it's around Kentucky Derby time or a little before.
I'll take your word for that.
Okay, yeah, no, the Kentucky Derby is usually, I don't remember now, but it's also around springtime, mid-juleps. But fantastic. Keep us posted on this. I'd love to hear more and continued success.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Kevin.
Cheers.
This is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com.